Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training, ICAT Lembang, is one of the popular agricultural training centers in Indonesia, with a strategic location in the area of agriculture, making ICAT Lembang as the most appropriate location to practice agriculture, both for farmers, extensions workers, job seekers, and job creator in agriculture. ICAT Lembang was established in 1962 under the name of the Agricultural Training Center and currently namely as Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training. ICAT Lembang is committed to creating training alumni who are competent and able to compete in the global world. So ICAT Lembang seriously prepares trainers who are experts in this field, including education staff who support it. To support the competence of training participants, Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training Lembang provides many training facilities which are also teaching factories for the training participants. Various facilities and infrastructure are prepared to increase the competency of participants during the training process, supported by some of the latest technological equipment in order to obtain superior and competitive agricultural human resources. As follows: representative classrooms, comfortable dormitories and guest houses, ballroom which is sufficient size for meetings, field practice with a complete and integrated commodity collection, automatic and modern greenhouses, laboratory in accordance with standards, packing house equipped with cold storage, integrated training system, library with a collection of thousands of books and can be accessed digitally, e-learning, a comfortable place for discussion to build fresh ideas. The achievements that have been carved are one of the proof that we are serious about realizing our vision and mission. Domestic and foreign cooperation has also been carried out to support the vision and mission of Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training Lembang, and at the same time is a trust given by stakeholders to ICAT Lembang.
Belajar di BPP Lembang itu menyenangkan karena sarana belajarnya lengkap, budaya suaranya oke, sehingga kami, para peserta pelatihan, mendapat hal dan teknologi baru terkait perkembangan pertanian saat ini.
Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training Lembang alumni are ready to compete in global competition. That's the right phrase to describe how ICAT Lembang commitment, making alumni a valuable asset for the advancement of Indonesian agriculture, challenging the future to realize the victorious agriculture in the future, together with the ICAT Lembang, preparing Indonesian agriculture to ensure world competition.
Balai Besar Penelitian Tanaman Padi atau BB Padi yang berlokasi di Subang, Jawa Barat merupakan salah satu unit pelaksana teknis lingkup Badan Standarisasi Instrumen Pertanian Kementerian Pertanian. Sejak tahun 2006 hingga saat ini, BB Padi menyelenggarakan fungsi penyusunan program dan evaluasi, penelitian pemuliaan, penelitian agronomi, penelitian hama dan penyakit, penelitian sosial ekonomi, penelitian fisiologi hasil, Sampai saat ini, BB Padi telah menghasilkan lebih dari 300 varietas unggul baru padi inbrida dan hibrida. Perakitan varietas unggul baru juga disesuaikan dengan preferensi rasa nasi masyarakat dan kondisi lingkungan tumbuh yang ada di Indonesia, seperti perakitan varietas Inpari atau inbrida padi sawah irigasi, varietas Inpara inbrida padi rawa, pasang surut atau lebak, serta varietas Inpago inbrida padi gogo. Dalam penyelenggaraan kegiatan, BB Padi ditunjang beberapa fasilitas seperti gedung perkantoran, rumah kaca dan screen field, gedung processing benih, 7 laboratorium, dan 3 diantaranya telah terakreditasi ISO 17025-2017, yaitu Lab Proximat, Lab Mutu Benih, Lab Beras dan Gabah. Untuk kegiatan produksi benih, BB Padi mengelola 4 aset yang berupa kebun percobaan atau KP, yang terdiri dari KP Sukamandi, KP Pusaka Negara, KP Kuningan, dan KP Muara Bogor. Unit Pengelola Benih Sumber atau UPBS BB Padi memfasilitasi peningkatan ketersediaan benih padi bermutu dari berbagai varietas unggul baru. UPBS BB Padi memproduksi kelas benih BS 15 hingga 20 ton per tahun dan kelas FS 30 hingga 35 ton per tahun yang terdiri dari 50 hingga 60 varietas unggul baru dengan menerapkan sistem manajemen ISO 9001 tahun 2015, di mana benih tersebut telah disebarkan ke penangkar benih di seluruh Indonesia. Padi telah menjadi bagian dari kehidupan masyarakat Indonesia, sehingga tidak dapat dipungkiri bahwa komoditas ini telah mempengaruhi tatanan politik dan stabilitas nasional. Selain sebagai makanan pokok lebih dari 95% penduduk Indonesia, padi juga menjadi sumber mata pencaharian sebagian besar petani di pedesaan. Perhatian khusus harus diberikan untuk meningkatkan hasil dengan menerapkan perbaikan teknologi dan teknik budidaya tanaman.
Good afternoon to our guests from Indonesia. Good morning to participants from African countries. Welcome to the online training course on rice plant management for African countries, which will take place for the next 3 days until November 24, 2022. Let me introduce myself. My name is Niken Supraba, and it is an honor for me to greet you as the event host. Before we begin, let us have 1 minute of silence to pray for our friends who were affected by the yesterday's earthquake in Cianjur, Indonesia. The prayer begins. Finish. Ladies and gentlemen, this training is organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture of the Republic of Indonesia and the Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperation NAM Center in partnership with Manobi Africa. From each institution have been invited, whom I will gladly greet, the Director of International Development Cooperation, Madam Maria Renata Hutagalung, the representative of Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training, Ministry of Agriculture, the representative of International Cooperation Bureau, Ministry of Agriculture, Mrs. Riani, representative from the ICAT Lembang, representatives from the ICCR, the Acting Director for NAM Center, His Excellency Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro, CEO of Manobi Africa, Dr. Daniel Annerose, and of course, all of the participants of the online training. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin today's activities by hearing remarks from the Acting Director of the NAM Center. Ambassador Diar, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Niken. Honorable Ms. Renata Hutagalung, Director for International Development Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Representative from Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Indonesia, Representative of Manobi, African Manobi, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning in Africa, good afternoon in Indonesia. I'm delighted to welcome all of you African participants in today's capacity building activities. Our activity is titled Online Rice Plant Management Training Course for African countries. In 2022, the FAO published a report in the state of food security and nutrition in the world, estimating that by 2030, there will be 670 million undernourished people worldwide. Food insecurity and malnutrition are exacerbated. Some as previous COVID-19 in extremely weather and economic shocks. According to the 2021 World Hunger Annual Report, 20% of the African continent population suffer from chronic hunger. The situation in Somalia is dire, with 7 other African countries classified as very serious, including Chad, the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Burundi, the Central African Republic, Comoros, and Madagascar. Only a few countries are classified as having low or moderate chronic hunger. We identify potential solutions to the chronic hunger problem, initiatives that support research and capacity building activities with the goal of increasing access to climate information services and validating agriculture technologies in Africa are viewed as one solution to the chronic hunger problem. These are a novel approach to filling the void by bridging the gap between organizations that provide agriculture knowledge and individuals who use that knowledge and technology. The participants of African countries today, as well as the meeting with Indonesian experts, are expected to result in spillover benefits to neighboring countries, as well as the formation of a new network of technical human resources related to agriculture and technology. The capacity building strategy that we are implementing today will boost agriculture cooperation between the Republic of Indonesia and African countries. Experts and participants can also collaborate to improve their knowledge and skills, as well as share rice cultivation knowledge with agriculture extension workers. Participants can try to solve the knowledge gap in modern rice cultural practice by updating knowledge, conducting independent assessment of the impact of training on changes in farming skills, and exploring opportunities for technology adoption and agriculture performance in their respective countries. In the next 2 days, we will talk about success story of rice management training cultivation in Senegal, field preparation, the rice integrated crop management in Indonesia, the implementation of rice superior varieties, rice planting, fertilizing and irrigation, pest and disease control through IPM, and rice harvest and post-harvest management. In order to make this virtual program more sustainable, the NAM Center and the implementing agency have decided that by 2023, selected participants will be invited to attend training in Indonesia with a more hands-on, interactive, and focused learning process. Of course, at the training site in Indonesia, participants will be able to try out the training facilities and possibly available rice plant management technology. Honorable directors, distinguished experts, ladies and gentlemen, an important aspect of this training for the NAM Center is that it is closely related to NAM goals. Since 1987, NAM has focused on the issue of undernourishment and hunger. This was later reaffirmed at the 2019 NAM Summit in Baku, Azerbaijan, where the heads of government of NAM member countries from developing countries fully committed to preventing all forms of malnutrition worldwide, particularly undernourishment, stunting, wasting, and underweight, particularly in children under the age of 5 in paragraph 855 of the summit outcome document. NAM member countries also applaud the adoption of UN General Assembly resolution, including the declaration of the United Nations Decade of Action on Nutrition 2016-2025. The NAM Center's assistance in the implementation of this training and the one that will be held in 2023 is a tangible effort to affiliate the main contributor to undernourishment and hunger, namely agriculture with the low yields. I have studied the success of rice farming activities in Senegal over the last few decades. And only a few months ago, Indonesia was awarded for 3 consecutive years of rice self-sufficiency in meeting domestic rice needs. Of course, this extraordinary achievement is possible due to the development and use of high-variety rice irrigation water supply regulation that meets farmers' need, proper fertilizer and pesticide use, and institutional and policy support for rice crop intensification. I sincerely hope that what Indonesia has accomplished can inspire and even be transmitted to African countries, so that people in African countries can also benefit from the success of optimal food self-sufficiency, including the positive implication of making rice prices more affordable for millions of economic consumers worldwide. Of course, geographical differences, weather, the availability of human resources, and land condition can become factors that impede the adoption of agriculture technique from one country to the next on global scale. The summary is that is rarely one-size-fits-all solution. As a result, I expect the expert to also be able to assist the participant in developing accurate rice farming techniques that are in accordance with the agriculture condition in each participant country. Honorable directors, distinguished experts, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I want to thank you again for your contribution to this activity. I wish you fruitful deliberation. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for the remarks. Next, I would like to invite the Director of the International Development Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Madam Maria Renata Hutagalung. Madam Maria, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Mbak Niken. Excellency Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro, Acting Director of Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South and Technical Cooperation, Honorable Dr. Leli Nuryati, Director of Indonesian Center for Agricultural Training, Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Daniel Annerose, CEO of Manobi Africa, representative from the International Cooperation Bureau of the Ministry of Agriculture of the Republic of Indonesia. Distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from Jakarta and a good morning to all participants in Africa. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to welcome all participants and experts from the Ministry of Agriculture of the Republic of Indonesia, as well as our guest speaker, Dr. Daniel Annerose, to the opening session of this online training course. Of course, it's always a pleasure to meet you, Diar, for these during the opening ceremonies of these trainings. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the issue of food security is a global major concern. Particularly in Africa, the lack of water sources and the low food productivity affects the vulnerability of food security in Africa. With capacity building assistance for farmers and other agricultural cooperation in the future, Indonesia hopes to contribute to strengthening food security. As Pak Diar has explained, Indonesia is a large agricultural nation that was successful in achieving self-sustenance in terms of rice production in the 80s. In the spirit of solidarity and cooperation among the developing countries, Indonesia has also established 2 agricultural training centers, one in Tanzania in 1996 and one in Gambia in 1998, to again, as part of our assistance and cooperation with our friends in Africa to improve the skill of farmers. Indonesia has also organized capacity building programs, best practices, knowledge sharing, as well as other programs on various themes, including health, disaster risk management, tourism, and global governance. Of course, working together also with development partners. Since 2017, Indonesia has carried out more than 20 training for at least 400 beneficiaries in various fields, including virtual training in agricultural sector during the COVID-19 pandemic. In terms of agriculture, Indonesia has developed farming methods that may be applicable to farmers in African countries to strengthen its food security. In this regard, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia is pleased to work together with the Ministry of Agriculture of Indonesia and the Non-Aligned Movement Center for SASAC Technical Cooperation to organize this meeting. It is our hope that this training will provide the necessary assistance to enhance agricultural knowledge, food productivity, and sustainability, especially in rice production. We note, while rice might not be a staple food for some African countries, this training could also be useful to develop rice plants as food diversification. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the training will share Indonesia's experiences and best practices on the methodology of managing rice plantations, from its planting process to the harvest and post-harvest management. Participants will have the opportunity to build and develop their knowledge of rice planting management. And I particularly put stress also in our developing networking, not only with Indonesia, but Indonesia with other African countries in the agricultural sector. I encourage all participants to actively participate in all the discussions and share their experiences. To have a sustainable impact on this training, of course, as Pak Diar has explained, an offline training will be held in Indonesia in 2023, and those who participate actively during today's and tomorrow's training will be shortlisted to attend the offline training next year. And of course, we look forward to welcoming you in Indonesia. Allow me again to extend my appreciation to NAM CSSTC as well as the Ministry of Agriculture for the collaboration so that this training could be held today. With that, let me conclude my remarks and wish you all a productive and fruitful training. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Director, for the warm opening speech. Next, let us watch the video presentation of the Director for ICAT. Dear colleagues from the Ministry of Agriculture, please assist in playing the video.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now I would like to present the Agricultural Human Resource Development Policy for Food Security in Indonesia. Agricultural Human Resource Development Policy for Food Security Program in Indonesia. Here we can see that our President Jokowi warning on global food crisis. Today's global food prices are rising. Therefore, we have to prepare a grand design. We have to formulate the plan for our country in facing the threat food crisis. President Jokowi also said that we have to be grateful that our farmers continue to produce rice and the price is steady. The global economy development of 2022 and 23 and its impact shows that the global economy situation predicted slowdown in 2022 and 2023. In 2022, global economy development estimated at 4.1%, lower than previous estimation at 5.5%. In 2023, World Bank projected global economy growth at only 3.2%. World Bank also projected Indonesia's economic growth for 2022 at 5.2%. These are driving factors: the spread of COVID-19 in early 2022, significant slowdown in major economies like China and USA, supply chain disruption as the effect of the war between Russia and Ukraine, inflation pressure, and the vulnerability of the developing countries' financial system, and also the global climate change. Indonesia's agriculture sector needs to anticipate the effects of the global economy development and global climate change to ensure food availability. In the G20 Agriculture Minister meeting, 28 September 22, there are 175 participants attended the occasion. And the result, the minister made commitment in balancing food production and trade to ensure food availability for all, amidst the challenges of climate change, the impact of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and the geopolitical tension. These are the summary of the G20 for Agriculture Ministers meeting. This is very important to know that one, promoting resilient and sustainable agriculture and food system. Second, promoting open, fair, predictable, transparent, and non-discriminatory of agricultural trade. Third is innovative agriculture entrepreneurship through digital agriculture to improve farmers' livelihood in rural areas. Indonesia has the new strategies and operational steps in facing global food crisis. There are strategies and also the operational steps. If we can see here that increasing production capacity, import substitution, and increasing exports are the strategies on the facing of global food crisis. And the operational steps, including the subject, object, and method that we can see from here. For example, for the Chile, land, commodity area mapping, abundant land utilization, and development of farmers corporation based independent food center. All the operational steps are based on the strategies that including in the location for food development in Indonesia. All the operational steps should be to achieve the increasing food availability and stability and also increasing the export. As we can see here, that 5 programs of the Ministry of Agriculture, including first is the program on availability, access, and quality food consumption. Second, program on value addition and industry competitiveness. Third is the program on science and technology research and innovation. 4 is the program on education and vocational school. And 5 is the program on management support. We can see here that program on education and vocational school is one of our human resource development policy. So this is agricultural development strategy in supporting food security, increasing competitiveness and economic growth. The action 1 is the increasing production capacity in a sustainable manner. And the second action is the promoting local food diversification. Action 3, strengthening food reserve and logistics system. Action 4, development of modern agriculture. And Action 5, increasing export of agricultural commodities, or we call it RATX. All the actions should be in cooperation with the network collaboration, concept, coordination, partnership, and strong leadership. So this is the acknowledgement from IRI for rice self-sufficiency. It seems that the acknowledgement is presented to Insinyur Joko Widodo is our president, the government of Republic of Indonesia, for achieving agri-food system resiliency and rice self-sufficiency during 2019 to 2021 through the application of rice innovation technology. Indonesia did not import rice for the last 3 years. Indonesia no longer imported rice for the last 3 years, with previous import of 1.5 till 2 million ton annually. I do hope that the achievement to be maintained, moreover to be increased by promoting the productivity of domestic rice farmers, said President Joko Widodo. This is the FAO acknowledgement for Indonesia's success in agricultural sector. Indonesia's rice productivity ranks second among Asian countries. We can see here from the graphic that the first ranking is Vietnam with the productivity 5.82. And Indonesia, in the red one, is the second ranking with the productivity 5.90 for the rice. And we hope that Indonesia ranks in rice productivity among 9 FAO member countries in Indonesia. Rice productivity rank higher to lower. We can see that Vietnam, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Philippines, India, Pakistan, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Thailand. Regarding for the digitalization, we have the development of agriculture war room. We can see from here that agriculture war room in the Ministry of Agriculture, this is based on the innovation of artificial intelligence and Internet of Things to facilitate leaders in taking fast and accurate decisions. We can see here that the utilization of agriculture war room is monitoring agriculture cultivation, post-harvest, processing and marketing, monitoring the availability and in distribution of agriculture tools and inputs such as seed, fertilizer, agricultural machineries, and etc. And also, agriculture war room or EWR means on training for farmer and official that we have done since the COVID-19 by online system. It means also for the agricultural extension system. So this is the agriculture digitalization, application of IoT, robot construction, artificial intelligence for EWR development and agricultural automation and mechanization. We can see here that Indonesia has deployed many applications for the development, such as for the mechanization, automatic tractor, and also for smart greenhouse and using also drone and other automatic machine. So this is the agricultural human resource development policy and strategies. General objective is to achieve the professional, independent, competitive, and entrepreneur agricultural human resource. And our main strategies is to establish an integrated and modern agricultural extension system, strengthen the agricultural vocational training system based on competency and competitiveness, strengthening competitive agricultural vocational education, and also reinforcing the bureaucratic. So this is the challenges, potential, and millennial farmers' activities in the Ministry of Agriculture. The challenges, first, is the decrease of farmer household during the last 10 years, numbering at 5 million. 60% of Indonesian farmers age over 45 years old. And also many millennials consider farming as undesirable profession, dirty, poor, marginalized community. And the decrease of farmer population is a threat to achieving Indonesia's food sovereignty in the future. The potentials of the youth is crucial as agricultural development successor based on the demographic bonus, technology advancement. Agriculture 4.0 requires professional and competitive human resource in agricultural sectors. Millennial farmers are expected to innovate and present creative thinking beneficial the continuity of agriculture and agricultural land availability. All the potential in the vocational education, vocational training, and also promoting young agripreneurs, youth entrepreneurship and employment support services, and also millennial farmers ambassador and champion farmer ambassador in order to achieve professional, independent, and competitive agriculture human resource development. So this is how the implementation of the growth of millennial agripreneurs. We can see here that millennial farmers can be supported by all the DG through the vocational education, vocational training, and also technical guidance, as well as the dam farm or dam plot farm, and also incentive. The vocational education and vocational training and technical guidance, including the activity for access to finance such as KUR, and also cultivation technology, harvest technology, processing technology, and access to market. And for demonstration farm, there are activities, cultivation technology, harvest technology, and also processing technology. And for incentive, there are activities of the empowering millennial, credit for people, corporation, etc. All are to grow the millennial agripreneurs. Beside all the activity, millennials also to push them to produce the local food diversification in anticipation of food crisis. So all activities also by preparing and reference to Minister of Agriculture and also for the latter from the consume local food. So this is the local food diversification acceleration goals. First, there are more than 50,000 edible kind of plants. Only 15 kind of food crops are consumed to provide 90% of calorie needs, especially rice, maize, and wheat. Second, in Indonesia, various kind of food source commonly consumed to meet calorie needs, among other such as cassava, sweet potato, yam, potato arrowroot, ganyong, or we call it kana edulis, breadfruit, banana, sago, and sorghum. And third is the aims of local food diversification as well as substitute development, reducing dependency on certain food source, ensuring the availability of food for the population equitably, and ensuring sufficient nutrition to lead a healthy, active, and productive life. So this is all the local food diversification development location. As we can see here, From Aceh until Papua, we have many kinds of the local food diversification that we can develop. And all the commodities can grow very well in Indonesia. There are other activities regarding to increase the production and also to increase the security program in Indonesia. This is the program of sustainable food yard, or we call it P2L. The beneficiaries, including the village youth, farmers youth, religious scholar youth, and also women in agriculture groups. And the duty type content for location, national priority for the program stunting, and food security enhancement priority areas. The advantage of the program, first, is the circular agriculture practices, organic, and producing vegetables, fruits, and fish. These activities, including the propagation of facilities, cultivation, demonstration plot, and post-harvest and marketing. All we use the GAP, or good agricultural process, and also GHP, or good for the healthy process. And all the activities also to push for the market with the goals, promote food availability, accessibility, and household production utilization, increases household income, support addressing the prevalence and stunting, and also addresses unemployment. Finally, these are the agricultural business development escalation. First, promoting the opportunity and creation of agricultural business, supporting young entrepreneurs in agricultural sector. Third, providing assistance to exporting agricultural business entities and medium and large-scale business. 4 is conducting training and assisting the development of digital agriculture business. And 5 is protecting national agriculture business and products. And that's all. Thank you for all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, with the presentation from Dr. Leli Nuryati, it means that our opening ceremony is close to an end. And I would like to ask the guests and participants to turn on the camera for a group photo session. I will guide by continuing from 3 to 1. Okay, let us wait the participants to open the camera. Okay, I will begin counting. 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Next page. 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. Okay, now since we conduct the inaugural session early, perhaps we can have a short break until 4:30 p.m. Jakarta time zone. For participants, you can always refer to the timer that is exhibited on the screen that I will share right now. You may choose whether to stay on the Zoom meeting or leave and then join back within the time frame. Once again, thank you. And of course, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Acting Director of NAM Center, Ambassador Diar, and yeah, thank you. And Director of International Development Cooperation, Madam Maria, and Dr. Leli Nuryati, Director of ICAT. See you in few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you all. See you then.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome back, participants. I hope you have done stretching after the inaugural session, and welcome to the main session of our online training. Our first agenda is a presentation from the CEO of Manobi Africa, Dr. Daniel Annerose. He will present about success story of rice management of training cultivation. Dr. Daniel, I hope you are ready. Please feel free to share screen your PowerPoint presentation. The screen is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning for all of those who are in Africa, and good afternoon for our friends from Indonesia. So thank you for giving me the floor, and I'll share my screen. With this one. And gone. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Sorry, not yet, Dr. Daniel.
Can you see my screen? Do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. And now?
Okay, right now we can see it.
Okay, so let me clean it a little bit. All right. Okay. So I'm the CEO of Manobi Africa, and Manobi Africa is a company which is mainly active in Africa, when we have clients in France. And our core business is to develop solutions to orchestrate agricultural value chains and drinking water systems across Africa. And we do that by providing business solutions to the different actors along the value chains that allows them to increase their core business performances and also to lubricate the transactions within the value chain. Today, we are here to talk about the rice value chain and how we can develop sustainable rice management system, and how the training that we will get from NIM Center will be interesting. Let me give you, I don't know how many people are from Western Africa, but let me give you few data about the situation of Africa regarding rice. And I will be focused on one region in which I'm very present right now, which is ECOWAS, the ECOWAS region. We are importing most of the rice that we are consuming right now in Africa. And ECOWAS is not a particular region regarding that. Even we have the land, we have the resources, we have the human forces. We continue to import rice, and the import bill is highly significant and weighs a lot on the economic balance of our countries. With the geopolitical situation after the COVID, this import bill that you can see here, which was $3.2 billion last year, will grow up to $5 billion for 2022. So we cannot continue to import like that. Even rice is not a crop which is traveling a lot, but most of these imports go to Africa. And this is why we have to increase our capacity to produce locally. And this is where the linkages that we have established with Indonesia is very important to discuss. And I will talk with you about, today I will discuss with you on how, first of all, how we are orchestrating the rice value chain in Western Africa and also in other countries in Africa, and how the training we conducted with NAM Center has drastically changed the way that we will continue to develop this rice value chain. So, in order to address this necessity to increase our local production, we developed a concept which is named digital agriculture. The goal is we want to reach a large number of farmers. We can do that by using piece of paper and a pencil. we have to use some technologies in order to do that, if we want to be efficient. But also we are in Africa. We don't have a long data or digital track record regarding agriculture. So it's important to have a physical presence. So phygital agriculture means that we are combining physical presence on the ground with digital solutions to organize the value chain, particularly where it concerns the inclusion of smallholder farmers that we organize in contracted value chain where they can directly deal with rice millers, with banks, with seed suppliers, input suppliers, and everything is traced into this platform. And you can see here the different technology we are using. We're using mobile, web, health observation, IoT, artificial intelligence, lean data management solutions. So all of these technology are combined along what we call this digital value chain. We drive the value chain toward the performance. We increase, we assist the farmers with this physical presence combined with these digital solutions that you can see here. We support the farmer, we assist the farmer to adopt the best practices and finally to get an increase of his yield and an increase of his income. The way we do that is we combine, we have three large category of services. One of the first one is AirMap, so which means that AirMap is developed in order to secure that the fact in a very well organized value chain, every actor is conditioned with the other ones. So in Africa, when we talk about smallholder farmers, generally they're just talking about it as very general terms. But in this situation with AirMap, we go deeper and we de-risk, we document all the farmers, all their assets, so we can set up the capacity of a group of farmers to produce and to supply an off-taker or rice miller. So that is a component of AirMap, and we are using health observation and mobile data, mobile and web solutions in order to do that. Once the farmers are known, then we go to the cropping season, and then this is called brisk. This is where we bring a support on the ground combined with digital solutions to assist the farmer to adopt the best practices. And we monitor the ways that the farmer manage these practices. And we have assist them to always stay within the proper agenda and proper practices which has been accepted. And when the farmer is assisted, then we go to the harvest. We secure the harvest. We have solutions to do that, and we secure the logistic from the field of the harvest, from the field to the rice miller, and we secure the payment back to the bank and the payment of the smallholder farmers. That's something which is working right now in several countries. Here is some example that we are using. So you can see there is a lot of technologies. This one is a connected rain gauge, IoT rain gauge, which we are using in order to provide the best advices to the farmer on the optimal sowing date. For instance, it is used in rain-fed condition, but some also in irrigated condition. Or during the cropping season, you can see how along the cropping season, depending to the stage of development of the crop, which is monitored using by our agents on the ground, but also using satellite imagery and artificial intelligence, we can directly detect the stage of development of the crop. And this development stage is used to provide to the bank information on how to set up the credit installment to the farmers regarding the reality of activities of the farmers on the ground. So that's something which is really de-risking the credit line for the bank. So this is using different, as I say, different technology. For those who are in interest, I can discuss that with you. And then we have our agents on the ground. This is a physical component of the digital agricultural department. And their role is, as I say to you, is really to assist the farmers, but also today to secure the best feedback loop that we can have, because they are our eyes, they are our mind, they are our legs on the ground. So they are working with the farmers, but at the same time, they are documenting the farmers' activities. And we can analyze all this data in order to really check to what is the efficiency of the farmers. And as I say to you, We already are doing this in several countries, and we have now 90,000 hectares across Africa, and the system continues to expand across Africa, and rice is a major problem. We are working on this, even we are working on other crops like groundnuts, sorghum, cashew, cocoa. So we extend this to different crops. Then you can imagine that, figure out that when you have all this data, then you can guide investment and toward environmentally and ethically sustainable business models. This is the reason why also it's important to have this data, because also it guides you in the adoption of smart agricultural practices as SRIs, which will be developed during this training session with the team of our friends of Indonesia. The reason why, and so we know, particularly if we adopt this sustainable rice management system, that we can really, and here I just developed the model for our 90,000 hectares that I presented to you, but you can see that you can reduce only with the 90,000 hectares, which is already significant, but you can significantly reduce the CO2 emission, you can augment the CO2 sequestration, and you can generate additional profit to the smallholder farmers by also adopting these sustainable rice management techniques. So this is why, and why we are in line with our friends of Indonesia, is because you go to Indonesia, you go to Africa, and you will see mostly the smallholder farming system, which is really a characteristic of agriculture in both countries, in South Asia, as well in Africa, which is where you already know that 70% of the agriculture is dominated by smallholder farming system. So that makes sense for us to work within this South-South cooperation ecosystem, to work together with Indonesia. And a good reason also regarding rice, we have to do that is because Indonesia 3 years ago was, you probably don't know that, but 3 years ago, Indonesia was a net rice importer, and by adopting all this technology, now Indonesia became last year, for the first time, a rice exporter. And I do think that this 3 years story could be also the story that the African countries, and particularly those who are attending this meeting, can also follow up, and we can walk into the path of Indonesia to secure the food sovereignty of our countries. So what we did this year in August, we organized with training like the one that you just start to be engaging. It's a similar training session, which started by an online session, like the one that you are attending right now, and which have been followed up by a visit of experts, agronomy experts from Indonesia, from Land Center, another company from working in mechanization came to Senegal. We welcomed them in the northern part of Senegal, on the river Senegal, and we spent almost 10 days working together to really learn about the techniques, about how Indonesia has adopted the SRI technology and how that changed their performance in this particular value chain. So this training has been conducted, as I say to you, in Africa Rice. It was an opportunity also for us to launch our new mechanization service platform. This is the inaugural session with the ambassador of Indonesia. You can see the team here. So it was a very intense training, during which the experts of Indonesia developed different courses on topics during this training, going from the implementation of superior varieties, rice planting, and the maintenance of field quality. And here you can see them do some field tests, They introduced some techniques that the Indonesian farmers are using in the rice, for the paddy rice. They presented all the irrigation and pest control management systems that they developed. They presented techniques that they are using on harvest and post-harvest and fertilization, on maintaining the field quality and implementation of a variety of high-yield varieties. All of this has been conducted in the laboratory, but also on the field that you can see it here. So it was very, very, very interesting. Farmers attending this training session, scientists, agronomists, economists, so people from different horizon areas, different sectors came and attended this meeting. And the good thing is that after this meeting, we decided to engage accelerant into this SRI, a Sustainable Rice Simplification System, based on the experience of Indonesia. That's something now we all our farmers, and we are organizing the transition from the conventional agriculture that we used to have using chemical inputs, looking for high yield, but that's something in terms of climate environment, which is not the most optimal one. So right now we decided to shift accelerant, and we will continue working with the NAM Center in order to give also incentive to our farmers to adopt this technology and to develop a new way of cropping paddy in our country, while in the same time increasing our production and address our food sovereignty. So that's something that it's going on right now. This year, our goal is to engage 5,000 hectares for the next cropping season, using some of the technologies that we have been transmitted by NAM Center and the Minister of Agriculture in Indonesia. And after this meeting, I will continue to discuss with the team in Indonesia to see how we can also secure all of this. And that's it. I really would expect that you will find, I really recommend you to attend this meeting. If you do that correctly, I think that will be very useful for you next time when you want to apply to your country. You will have opportunity also, I guess, to visit Indonesia and see on the field how it works. And if you want to visit us in Senegal to see how we apply it too, you will be much more than welcome. So thank you very much. I will leave the floor for questions and answers. Thank you very much for all of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel, for the excellent presentation, highlighting Manobi's Africa role in sustainable agriculture in the Manobi Africa business region, as well as the best use of technology to boost productivity. And of course, we thank you for your cooperation on the organization of this batch of experts in August. Now, I would like to invite the participants to ask questions or provide feedback. Feel free to drop your comment on the chat section or turn on your microphone. Okay, one participant already raised hand, Dr. Gandeka. Feel free to turn on your microphone, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. for this good presentation and the good topic on rice. You know, if we look at from the map, you can see some neighbor country of Guinea. But I realize you are not in Guinea. I don't know why. Because if you look at from Guinea, our country is the main country where you can find the good land for rice cultivation, and then the water also is too much. But I don't know why up to now you are not here in Guinea to collaborate with us, our government, on the rice cultivation. Is that my question? Thank you.
You want me to respond, or we take some questions, Niken?
You can respond right away, Dr. Daniel, please.
Okay, so currently we are in discussion with negotiation with your minister to implement accelerant, Minister of Agriculture, to implement accelerant in Guinea. I must say it's not easy, but that's something. The reason why it's very simple. We started in several countries where we already have some presence, so we just extended that presence in these countries. But definitively, Guinea is one of the targeted countries. And I hopefully, if the Minister of Agriculture, we have a project on behalf of the Minister of ISDB, which is a rice value chain project financed by ISDB and BADEA. The agreement is on the table of your minister. So I must say that the question must be returned to your Minister of Agriculture. On our side, when we will have an agreement on what we proposed, we will be very happy to join in Guinea.
No problem. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gandika, for the question. Next question coming from Mr. Yaresa. Please feel free to unmute your microphone, please.
Good morning, all. So, like you said, we cannot continue to import rice. Our country, Africa, we have to look how to increase the rice production in our place. Agency in your presentation.
Dr. Yaresa, you are breaking up.
So if we want to change that session agency normally, that's my question. Thank you. Hello, do you hear me?
Mr. Yaresa, can you repeat your question? Your voice was freezing.
Okay, sorry for that. I say thanks for everybody. Do you hear me now?
Yes, or maybe you can turn off your camera so that your voice is more stable.
Is it okay like this?
Okay. Try to continue, please.
Okay, like I said, thanks to Dr. Daniel for his presentation, good presentation. Like he said, we cannot continue to import rice. So we have to look how to increase rice production in our side, like Africa. In that case, I was thinking that in that value chain, we have to think about the extension agency normally. So if in the value chain, we have production in our place here, power boiling and selling rice. So we have to think about extension agency who's supposed to help the farmer how to understand the rice production. That's my question. I didn't hear the extension agency in his presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yaresa. It's not because you didn't hear about it that they are not engaged into this program. So we are deeply linked to them. During the training made by NAM Center in in August, all the extension department, Agricultural Extension Department were present on behalf of the Minister of Agriculture. So regarding our accelerant platform, there is a strong linkages with the extension agents. So I mean, you are talking about the public extension agents. So there is strong linkages, but as you know, the ratio of number of extension agents over number of farmers is very low in our countries. So what we are doing with the youth, the young people you saw on the ground, you saw on my presentation, they are youth from the community, and they are trained and assisted and linked to the extension agent in order to provide the proper advices to the farmers. And also the system, as the system is connected, then at the supervision level at the office, we can also provide also extension support or solution advices to the farmers through the platform. So it combines, as I say, the physical presence of the agents on the ground, the youth, the linkages with the extension agents, and the digital solution allows to link this, organize this within an ecosystem which is constantly communicating in order to secure that, ensure the farmer that he has access to proper response he would like to have when he faces any problem.
Thank you, I understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Yarisa, and thank you, Dr. Deno, for that. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Bualia and Mr. Wainaina, but I think I will read the question from Mr. Ciputa first because he came first. Okay, Dr. Daniel, there is already a question from the chat box from Mr. Ciputa. He is asking, what other gadgets accompany the rain gauge? Does the instruments also detect possible?
Want to ask,
Dr. Daniel, can you respond to the question from Mr.
Yeah,
Ciputa?
in fact, the rain gauge address an issue where, you know, the weather stations in our continent, the network of weather station is not dense enough. The density of this network is not very high, and many of these stations, because they are expensive also to maintain, to acquire and to maintain, so it's very complicated to have a granularity of rainfall data, which could be useful for a smaller farmer than this field. So in order to address this issue, because rainfall data is very important, particularly in our area where when people are cropping on rain-fed condition, it's important to not miss the first optimal sowing date, and this optimal sowing date is directly linked to the volume of water which has already stored in the soil and to the amount of rain received on the same field. This is why we developed this small IoT system, which is, we have other ones, but this one is really to measure the rain, to send this information directly to the platform where we have mathematical models which have been developed in order to give advices to the farmers, you know. So we analyze the rain, we use several parameters, the evapotranspiration, the temperatures, the evapotranspiration, the soil texture. So we know how could be the water retention in the soil. So all these data, this is put into a model, and then we can say, okay, if you receive this amount of rain, you receive this amount of rain, this is not an optimal sowing date, wait for the next rain. When the next rain comes, you can say, okay, this is a good one because 10 millimeters, it's okay, you can sow. And that's something which is adapted to the different crops we are working in. So the instrument is not designed to detect drought, but it's designed to measure rainfall. And then when you have this data, then you can use it, for instance, for insurance companies. One thing it could do is, if the rainfall starts too late, that there is some risk that the crop being exposed to drought at the end of the cropping season, you know. And if we don't have enough rain, then you can develop some specific and this insurance system product, sorry, So we can give the insurance the information about the risk insured. It could be drought or lack of rainfall, and we can decouple it to the risk due to the farmer malpractices. So.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel. We can say the IoT provides some way to become one of the kind of climate risk management, I think.
Yes, but not only. We use IoT also to monitor tractors, to track tractors, to estimate yield, to measure the humidity in the soil. So we can do a lot with IoT, to control, you can connect it to a waiter. You can do many things with the IoT devices.
Thank you. So maybe I would like to invite Mr. or Mrs. Wainaina. I saw you were raising hand. Would you like to ask some question or feedback to Dr. Daniel, please?
Yes, my name is Abdullah. I'm from Somalia. I'm a farmer. Thank you, Dr. Daniel, for your good presentation. I just want to ask you one question. As I can see your presentation. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you see? Okay. As I can see your presentation, you use different application techniques. Those can take part management of the farm in terms of increasing of yield. My question is, do you have a plan to reach other countries like Somalia, those who don't able to use like application techniques to build their capacity or skill, their capacity and skills of the agricultural knowledge? Thank you.
Yeah, we have a plan to extend this across Africa. The question of the food sovereignty is not a question of a specific region in Africa. Every country has to address is food sovereignty, and we consider that accelerant is a way to accelerate the reach of this food sovereignty. And the partnerships that we set up with the Indonesian brothers is really to also accelerate again what we have to do in this particular field. So it's a platform. So there is a component which could be, all the digital component could be easily extended. After that, you have to organize a presence on the ground. So that's something which requires some context-based approach in every country. But we are very familiar with that. I mean, this is something we tested in several countries. And one of the good things I would like to share with you is this excellent platform we developed for Africa. In Africa, right now we have clients in Europe who is asking for us to implement it. So it's already implemented in Europe. So it means that the technology that we have used is agnostic, which means it could be in terms of context or environment where it could be deployed. So we have farmers in the south end of France, which are using this platform. So doing it in Somalia, I think it's something which will be easy to do. Even after that, we are looking because we are starting. We just have 4 years on that particular excellent platform, but we will have several consider several parameters. But definitively, yes. That's something which can be extended in any countries, whether it's in Africa or Asia or in Europe. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Daniel. There is already another participant who raised hand, Mr. Mutakwa. Please feel free to address your question. You can unmute your microphone.
Okay, can you get me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Doc, for that lovely and insightful presentation that we've been able to get. I just wanted to find out if you have a program, as a follow-up question, if you have a program to be invited to countries like Zambia, for instance, so that you can offer some of this information that is very important, because the biggest problem we have, like in Zambia, is the problem of trying to increase rice yields. So I wanted to find out the pros and cons of trying to invite you to this country so that you can help out, because we've realized that you are very, very knowledgeable in as far as this program is concerned. Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you. I just take it like an invitation, Mr. Dr. Mpakwa. I mean, definitively, yes, there is no pros and cons. I mean, if again, what we used to do when we go in a country, the first thing we are doing is that we are developing a plan together with the authorities on how we can reach a food sovereignty, let's say in 3 years, you know. And the 3 years are not coming from nowhere. It's exactly what Indonesia made, okay? So can we, let's say in 3 years, improve smaller farmers' access to credit? Can we implement technologies that will reduce the cost of production? Can we improve the profit and loss of the farmers with all these solutions? Can we augment the yield by modernizing the practices? And I'm talking about the mechanization. Can we reduce the carbon emission on the processing side? So all these questions, depending to where you are, which country you are, you will not respond to the same. But what we know to do is really to say, okay, year 1, year 2, year 3, in this particular segment, this is what you can do. But when you say that, the very important thing is to have a solution like this one, to trace and to monitor every single dollar which will be invested into this land should be properly traced. And you need also to this data in order to guide you on the right way to reach this food sovereignty. So it's not only having a technology, it's really about building an ecosystem. There is some regulatory issues. For instance, if the country continues to support the importation of rice, it will be much complicated than
Kule nanyewa na buffet sijui. Naona kuna buffet ya Tan Park au sio hilo?
Please unmute your microphone, Dr. Daniel.
Okay, sorry. So nobody was hearing me. Just muted right now. So I have to start again. Hello.
Yes, please. Please
okay.
continue.
So yeah, I'm sorry. So I took your question as an invitation to come to Zambia, but I was saying that yeah, definitively we can do that. And I was just explaining that it's not only having the technology, but also defining a plan that will guide the country toward the food, the rice sovereignty, you know, food sovereignty. Generally, we can say, okay, we will work on a 3-year plan, and we will define the different steps through which we can, for instance, secure the farmers, smaller farmers' access to credit, to input, seeds, and how we can trace every segment of this chain, how we can also support the mechanization in order to modernize this agriculture and also to increase the production and reduce the loss, how we can reduce the P&L, improve the P&L of the farmer by reducing the cost of production and increasing the yield, how we can decarbonize the processing side of the value chain. So there are country per country, and I do think it's Zambia, its own specific context. We develop that, and then the platform is very useful because once the plan is defined, we can quickly deploy and trace all the system, all the results, monitor all the results, put that into the data intelligence system, analyze the performance, and guide the activities toward this food sovereignty. That's something which has to be done right now, because during many years we just planned, we never tried to really organize that as a value chain, and this is what we can do, and this is where the partnership with our friends from Indonesia is very important, because when I say we can guide you in a program, a 3-year program for the food sovereignty, that implies that you master all the rice, the proper rice management techniques that will help you to reach that goal.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel. Mr. Mutakwa, I hope the feedback from Dr. Daniel suffice. Dr. Daniel, there is already one question from Mrs. Margaret Masumba. She is asking, what are some of the strategies do you use to motivate the small-scale farmers to adopt the rice production technology?
Okay. First of all, we have to remember that we cannot forget it. It's most of our smallholder farmers in Africa don't have access to credit. Okay, so if let me give you a few numbers. Less than 3% of the smallholder farmers in sub-Saharan Africa has regularly access to credit, which means that they don't have access to inputs on a regular basis for during each cropping season. They don't have access to seeds. So basically, they are producing at a suboptimal level when they can crop. So one of the ways to make people adopting that is to link these rice management practices with the financial product, which guarantees them that they will have access to credit. All right. So currently we are working with banks, many commercial banks, because importation is financed by commercial banks, right? So we work with commercial banks. We show them that makes sense for them to invest in local production, thanks to this system, which de-risk their credit to the smaller farmers. And we demonstrate them that for a fraction of the import bill, they can finance the food sovereignty. And on the other side, we explain to the farmer, we show to the farmers that yes, if you go into the system, one, you will have access to credit. Two, you will have access to personalized extension services. You will be contracted your price your harvest will be sold to at a proper price, at a fair price. Next cropping season, you don't have to wait. You will have your financing, your credit coming again. If you pay back, and you will be supposed to pay back. So when you put all this in the basket, increasing the yield, you show the farmers that it can increase yield. At the beginning, you have to, in some cases, the situation is not so optimal to implement that. So you need to think about some incentives that you will bring. For instance, in Niger, currently, we just launched a program with IFAD, which is named E-Green Finance, to support smallholder farmers to adopt these techniques in combination. So there is a transition phase which needs to be supported, 1 or 2 years of a transition phase, but the farmer can see that he's supported, he's not alone. He has a strong support on the ground, very visible, that he can touch and reach every time, whenever he wants with his phone. So that kind of, you change the environment of the smaller farmers, you give him something much more attractive, and finally, it's much more easy for him to adopt this technology. So it's not about segmenting the chain and asking you each time, should I have to give him this or this or this? No, it's look at the entire ecosystem and see how we can inject this technology and make the entire ecosystem much more friendly, less risky, with less friction. And at the end of the day, I mean, the actors into the value chain will adopt it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel. So it seems that as long as there is funding, of course, the rate of acceptance among small-scale farmers will be high in technology adoption?
Yes, I mean, you cannot, okay, I'm coming from the public sector. I spent years working in a development agency. We spent billions of dollars since the end of the colonization to say that, okay, we will support the smallholder farmers, and look at where we are, right? I'm talking about Africa, because I know it's a little bit different in South Asia. So if we want to do something which could be sustainable, it needs to be combined with, as I say, an environmentally, ethically sustainable business model. We cannot continue to be on grants. That does not make sense. The cropping season is not waiting on grants. The cropping season waiting on the farmer prepared to plant and to crop. So that's where the linkages with the financial world, the finance world, is very, very, very important. Because this is a business. We cannot continue doing agriculture by default. Agriculture is a business, okay? So the training that you are going to give Indonesia is really to turn the farmers, the smaller farmers, as professional, you know, people who master their techniques. And if it is about dealing with people to master the techniques, that you certainly cut the risk by 20, by 40, 50%. Okay, so it's important. It's not only claiming waiting on the public. We are in a world right now which is changing, which is so brutal in the way it changes, that everybody has to be reinforced in this capacity to develop its core business. And I don't think we can let more than that the smaller farmers on the side of this economy. It has to be part of it. So we have to respect it and considering that, respecting and considering as someone who has to play a role in the world economies that we want to develop, particularly in Africa, where agriculture is representing 70% of the economy of the country.
Thank you very much once again, Dr. Daniel. It has been a lively discussion, many feedbacks and questions from the participants, but I'm afraid our time has run out. There are actually still a few questions from the participants in the chat box. Are you okay if you are responding it through the chat box, Dr. Daniel?
I think I already did. I go through it and I will try to respond one by one, but I think I already did it. I think during the conversation, we spoke about the rain gauge. I don't know with hectares. Maybe someone wants to talk about tractors. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Mr. Mutakwa. No, I think it's okay. If there is one question I didn't respond to, for instance, Mr. Ndikuma, I say the same thing that I say to Zambia about Burundi. No, I think it's okay. I go through it, and if there is one question I didn't respond to, I will do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel. Wishing you many success in your future. Yes, thank you.
And all the best to the participants. I invite you to be much more to attend that very seriously, and you will not regret it.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next agenda. We will hear a presentation from the lecturer of the ICAT Lembang Ministry of Agriculture from Mr. Yeyep Dintan about the rice integrated crop management in Indonesia. Mr. Yeyep, I hope you are ready. Please feel free to share your presentation. The screen is yours.
Semula. Share screen. Bentar dulu, Bapak. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Honorable for all participants. Nice to meet you. An online training course on rice plant management for African coast. First of all, I would like to introduce my name. I'm Yeyep Dintan from Indonesian Center for Agriculture Training, or ICAT, Lembang, Ministry of Agriculture, the Republic of Indonesia. Previously, before going to the topic, I just want to know from all participants about the integrated crop and resource management. So, how many participants already know about the ICM? Because I read in the notice, many participants already know about ICM. Okay. Okay. Well, so this morning or today, I'm not a teacher. Also, I'm not what we call it, but I just want to share my experience regarding with rice cultivation in Indonesia. And also, I want to share about my experience about rice cultivation in Madagascar. But unfortunately, today, there are no participants from Madagascar. So, and then I'm very sorry if later on my English is not clear. I hope Miss Pia can help me to, yeah, to make a better my English. So this is the objective. This is the objective for this topic. First of all, I hope the participant can understand the meaning of integrated crop and source management. And then secondly, the participant can understand about the seed quality. Thirdly, understanding the soil management, and then understanding the planting, understanding the principle of fertilization. Probably this is will explain later on by the next session. And then understand the irrigation or water management, understand the weeding control system, and then understanding the integrated pest management or IPM. And last but not least, participant can understand the harvest and post-harvest. As you know, our country have a lot of method of rice cultivation. Firstly, we have SRI method or system of rice intensification. I think all participants already know about the system rice intensification, because this is SRI, what we call it, first of all from Africa, if I'm not wrong. If I'm not wrong. And then in Indonesia, we have method of cultivation, padi cultivation, we call that minapadi or rice fish cultivation. Later on I will explain. And then of course I will explain about the ICM. And we have also Haston method for cultivation rice. Haston normally we can plant in Rawat, swam, yeah, okay, in swam, okay. So this is the meaning of system rice identification. So system rice identification is an efficient way of cultivating rice plant with a root system management process based on the management of water, soil, and plant. The important element in system rice identification, firstly, transplant young seedling. It means 7 until 14 days old. And then single seed. This is different between the normal rice cultivation. Normally, when transplanting, we need almost 2 until 3 seed per hole. So this is the goal of ICM. The goal of ICM is effort to increase the rice productivity and farmers' income through integrated and sustainable management of land, water, plants, and plant pests. The principle of ICM is not a technology package. It means it is synergetic between several components, also dynamic and participatory. Okay, these are the objective of ICM. The first, to increase field and yield productivity, to reduce the input budget, yeah, and then to integrate a production system. And these are components of ICM. There are seed quality, soil management, planting or transplanting, fertilizing, irrigation or water management, weeding control, and integrated pest management, harvest and post-harvest. So ICM in Indonesia, we call that PTT. So I'm so sorry, this is still slide in PTT, not yet translate. PTT mean pola tanam terpadu. Yeah, this is the ICM marking technology. First one, new superior varieties according to location. Because in Indonesia we have a lot of location. So location different between one location and another. So it means the variety, of course, should be suitable. And then quality seed. Quality seed, it means certified and high vigor. Young seedling, less than 21 hari setelah tanam, what is called hari setelah tanam?
Day after plant.
Day after plant, sorry, day after plant. And the number of seedling, 1 until 3 per hole dot. This is different between SRI and ICM. SRI, whereas SRI only 1 seed per hole, but or ICM 1 until 3 per hole and planting system. And then this is the special for the marking technology in ICM. Nitrogen fertilization using leaf color chart, or we call that BWD in bahasa, bagan warna daun. But I don't know yet in your country is there leaf color chart or not? Yeah, I think already. And PNK fertilization based on soil nutrient status. So over here, talk about seed quality. The seed are soaked in 3% salt solution, probably 30 gram table salt per 10 liter water for 20 hours. This is the simple method, I think. Bu Fia already know about the modern method. Yeah, probably next time you can explain, yeah, Bu Fia, why it should be by salt. Just take the seed that sink. Yeah, the sink mean tenggelam ya Bu. Yeah, tenggelam. The soak seed are dried for 24 hours. So this is the picture seed preparation. As you can see here, yeah, this is very simple. You can see this is bad seed and this is good seed. Of course, yeah, good seed is seed are already sink. As you can see here, this is method from Indonesia. When I was in Madagascar, I cultivate padi in Madagascar, and by using nursery bed preparation like this one. Nursery bed around 5% from all planting area. But it's not should be like this one. Depend on the what we call it size, size the land. Nursery bed between 2 meter times 10 meter, depend on the condition also. Nursery bed should be plugged until muddy or muddy. Yeah. Muddy, but I think in Africa already know about the muddy mean macak-macak. There is in Africa macak-macak also very famous, Bu Fia. Yeah, already know. Height of water in nursery bed between 3 cm until 5 cm, and then mixing rice husk in the soil as much as 2 kg per meter. So this is very important, mixing rice husk in the soil. It means to make easy when the transplanting, when the root make easy to pull. This is the function of the rice husk. So, and then so you can see here, this is sowing. This is the picture when the farmer make a sow. And the picture I take from Madagascar farmer. So this is the field preparation. So as you can see here, this is different between in our country, Bu Fia. So we call that but I don't know in Africa, especially in Madagascar, the tool like this one is what we call that this one, very long, like a tumbak gitu. But normally in our country like campur. So the soil should be plowed before plowing. The soil should be plowed by depth 20 until 20 centimeter and flooded for 5 until 7 days. And then the soil should be leveled before planting. This is transplanting method. This is transplanting method in our country, but of course we have many method for transplanting, and then for the planting distance and so on. Transplant as much as 2 until 3 plant per hole. This is normal. Planting depth 3 until 4 centimeter. Planting distance. So for planting distance, we do legowo system. Legowo system mean wide. Yeah, wide. I mean, this is abnormal conventional method. Logo system mean wide. For planting distance, we have 50 centimeter times 25 centimeter and 12.5 centimeter. So we have three, what we call that? Three. But normally, if we plant like a square, only two. But legowo different with the square. Now, tegal, we call that tegal. This is normal system. We have planting distance 25 centimeter times 25 centimeter or 20 centimeter times 30 centimeter, depend on the farmers. So, talking about the fertilizing, actually, when we do the fertilizing, normally farmer in Indonesia make a fertilizing combined with organic fertilizer and unorganic or synthetic fertilizer. But when I was in Madagascar, we have two method for fertilizing. One method or one dam plot only we use only organic fertilizer, and then combine synthetic fertilizer and organic fertilizer. Of course, the result more than high combine than organic fertilizer only. As you can see here, we do fertilizer by using compost. Yeah, we have a 7-day compost. Now, this is a compost already what we call it, fermented by using what we call that intestine, cow intestine. So this is a formula when I was in Madagascar about the fertilizing. We have 7-day compost, 2 ton per hectare, urea 100 kilogram per hectare, and PK 100 kilogram per hectare. And the result when I do the demonstration, the result, the production around 7 ton per hectare. Only compost, only by using compost. When they're using this formula, we can increase until 8 ton per hectare. In irrigation management, normally rice fields should be irrigated between 3 until 5 centimeter for 10 days after transplanting. So as you can see here, this is the picture, the Legowo system. So this one we call that Legowo. When I said before, when I explained before. So Legowo mean wide. Yeah. After that, rice field should be drained and irrigated again. Rice field should be drained 10 days before harvesting. But of course, this is depend on the location. We can do the method like this if the water tersedia. If water enough, yeah.
Sufficient.
Sufficient, yeah, water sufficient. I think for weeding, almost the same. But for legawa system, we have added weeding. Normally, weeding two times in a season in transplanting, but we do the legawa system. We need at least 3 times for weeding. Why? Why? Because we have a drainage system, dry, wet, and wet, like this. So weeding should be done 3 times when the age of rice 25, 35, and 45, depend on the condition, by using the traditional tool or herbicide. But if we can do the fish and rice culture, normally herbicide is forbidden. Yeah, because I have what we call that in Indonesia, in our country, we have rice and fish cultivation. Yeah. Probably later on I will explain. And then how to control for pests and insect. In ICM, we do integrate pest management, where the synthetic pesticide will do in the end if the what we call that
Another option.
Another option. Yeah, thank you, Bu Pia. These are method of integrated pest management. Consists of variety rotation. There are crop pot pattern and planting according the planting schedule, and also using predator, using trap. And varieties rotation mean in our country we have a lot of varieties. We have a lot of varieties. We have at least, if I'm not wrong, we have 4 varieties. We have Inpari, Inpara, Inpago, and Hikmah, but I don't know in English. Inpari mean inbrida padi irrigation. So mean irrigation, inbreed, yeah. And Hikmah hybrida padi. Yeah. So for Inpari, until now, if I'm not wrong, we have plant until number 44, if I'm not wrong, but probably in BB Padi, I will explain later on. I'm not. Yeah. For crop pattern, we can do rice, crop, rice, or rice, and then rest or brick. And then planting according the planting schedule, using predator like what we call that, many predator, using trap. There are trap light, sec pheromone, and so on. Of course, we have to implement balancing fertilizer. Balancing in fertilizer is very important in fertilizing, because the fertilizer is very important for the what we call that crop paddy. So it means don't overdo, but and also don't lack it. Enough, yeah, should be enough. Balance fertilizer. And then talking about the harvest and post-harvest. So I have some very nice memory in Madagascar talking about the harvest and post-harvest. In Madagascar, we have the name like a tunta. Do you know tunta, Bu Fia? Tunta mean like what we call it tumpukan gitu. Yeah, right. But very high losses because farmer put for 1 until 3 months. This is harvest, after harvest, and diamin aja gitu. Yeah, so that's why I have sweet memories for harvest and post-harvest in Madagascar. And also talking about the production, I don't know yet in each your country, but in Madagascar, production below less than 3 ton per hectare. Yeah, because what they call it effect like harvester, harvester, tunta. Yeah. Now, in Indonesia also, this is very unique method. This is very unique method. We have rice fish culture, but I don't know in your country this is suitable or not. But I tried in Madagascar. This is very good. I think suitable. Yeah. But of course, depend on the kind of fish. Kind of fish. Yeah. Rice fish culture. The objective to get a better production and farmer income, because we have income from production, from rice production and rice production. Fish production. Nah, this one to reduce the fail harvesting. If the harvesting fails, so we still have the fish production to reduce the field harvesting. And this is the step of rice fish culture. Principally, the step of rice fish culture are the same as IC method. The differences are between fertilizing, when I said before, irrigation and weeding method. So if we will do the rice fish culture, so make sure before plant the fish, the weeding method, fertilizing and pesticide already clear. This is fertilizing, probably later on will explain by the lecture. This one how to make the rice and fish cultivation. First of all, make canal between Legoworo with depth 15 centimeter. More than 15 centimeter, I think better. Yeah, but not for what they call it, terlalu dalam lah, ya, too deep. Ya. So before the fish is planted, when I said before, in the rice field, make sure all activities such as fertilizing, weeding, insecticide application have been finished. Density of fish depend on the size and the kind of fish. My experience when Madagascar, for goldfish or Citrus carpio, 1 kilogram equal to 40 until 50 fish. So density of fish is 1,100 and until 2,000 per hectare. 1 kilogram equal 100 until 150 fish. Density of fish to 2,500 until 3,000 and 500 per hectare. But normally fish is planted in the rice field 1 month after transplanting of rice. 1 month. Fish can be harvested 1 month before harvesting of rice. This is normally, but it depends on the water also. If there is not water, probably this method is not suitable. So as you can see here, this is goldfish, yeah. Because there are special fish like goldfish is very suitable for rice fish culture. Yeah. How about the tilapia? I know in Africa many tilapia. Via Disney, not via Disney. Tilapia, I think, is not suitable for the rice fish culture. This is the conclusion, Bu Fia. I think this is activities of integrated crop and research management. First of all, seedling. Yeah, in seedling, what can we do in the seedling? Nursery bed preparation, and then seed preparation, and last sowing. And this is the activities in seedling. And the second activities, field preparation. There are seed preparation and there are seed field preparation. In field preparation, the activities such like plowing, organic matter, or compost, dung manure, etc. I'm so sorry, in our country already, what we call that? Here the Adan, but how about let's continue? Yeah, Adan Maghrib. Sorry. So I have to break for a moment, 3 until 5 minutes. Okay, for second one, field preparation, there is plowing, organic matter like compost, dung manure, and etc. And third, transplanting. The activities in transplanting, there are planting distance, planting depth, sum of seed per hole, as I mentioned before. If I will do method of legowo system, this is some of it, of course, different between system rice intensification. Age of seed, pots, fertilizing, the activities in fertilizing. We have schedule of fertilization, formula of fertilizer, and 5 irrigation or water management. We have schedule of irrigation, schedule of drainage, and weeding. We have a schedule of weeding. Integrated pest management. A lot of activities like varieties rotation, crop pattern, schedule of planting, using predator, using trap, and balancing fertilizer. And then harvesting. Now, harvesting, the activity in harvesting the most activity, how to determine harvest time. This is very important. Yeah, because each variety have a different harvesting. And last but not least, there are sport harvest. In post harvest, we have some activity like cutting, thresher, dryer, and milling. When I was in Madagascar, this is very unique. In Madagascar, there is not a thresher, but when we want to how to memecahkan itu apa ya? It's very unique. Just like by horse. Yeah. By horse and run like that. What they call it, gebu-gebu. It's very difficult to translate in English. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have the video. Yeah, that's it. This one, I just want to compare between the analysis on rice-based culture with Togawa system. As you can see here, even though this is in another currency, yeah, this is a currency from Madagascar, Ari-Ari, yeah. You can see here, pisciculture can increase income. That is the conclusion. Okay, I think enough for presentation from me, and then we will do discuss probably after Ibu Via play the videos. Yeah, okay. Please, Ibu Via.
Integrated crop management is an effort to increase rice yield and production input efficiency by taking the wise use of natural resources. The implementation of ICM is based on 4 principles. First, ICM is neither a technology nor a technology package, but an approach so that plant, land and water resources can be managed as well as possible. Second, ICM utilizes agricultural technology that has been developed and applied by taking into account the elements of synergistic linkages between technologies. ICM pays attention to the suitability of technology with the physical and socio-economic environment of farmers. Fourth, ICM is participatory, which means that farmers participate in testing and selecting technologies that are appropriate to local conditions and farmers' abilities through a learning process. recommendations for rice production technology in ICMR. First, the use of superior rice varieties or rice varieties with high yields and or high economic value. Second, the use of certified seeds with good seed quality. Third, the use of site-specific balanced fertilizers. Fourth, the use of organic material compost, fertilizer and soil enhancer. And management of healthy rice seedlings and plants through cropping arrangements, while maintaining the minimum population, the use of high-quality seeds, planting young seedlings with a limited number of seedlings, between 1 to 3 seeds per hole, regulation of intermittent irrigation and draining, and weed control.
Okay, I think Bufia. So
okay, thank you, Ms. Niken.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yeyep, for the presentation, and thank you for yes. Okay, Mr. Yeyep, there is already a feedback from one of the participants from Burundi. He said that SRI is actually the system that Burundi has been using has been using right now. Yeah. So maybe I would like to invite Mr. Eric. Would you like to share the experience of Burundi in implementing SRI, please?
SRI. Good.
Okay. Or maybe we can wait for him for the next few hours. I would like to invite for participants, if you have any questions or feedbacks addressed to Mr. Yeyep, feel free to drop your comment or raise hand. There's already one participant raising hand. Mr. or Mrs. Bualia, please, feel free to deliver your question. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. In Zambia, I say afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Agwada Kaponda. I work for Zambia Cultural Research Institute in Zambia here. I didn't hear clearly on the soaking of seed, where he mentioned of why mixing salt and water when he's soaking the seed. I didn't get clearly the reason why not only using water, but you mix salt with water when soaking the seed before planting.
Yeah. So Mr. Yeyep, he is asking why you need salt for a mixture.
Moment. Thank you, Mr. Serimang. Yeah. Okay. Why use salt? Because for water density is different. It is simple my answer.
Yeah, maybe I can add a little bit.
Yeah, from Bufia, you can explain.
Okay, why we use a salt? Because we want to select the high quality seeds. The good one is going to be sinking and the bad one is going to floating. Using the salt, just like actually we can use one more indicator, which is an egg. In egg, there is an empty space. So we can add the salt until the egg is floating. It means that the seed that have a empty space on the seeds, I mean the bad quality seed, they're going to be floating. That's why we need to change the water density using the salt to select the good seed. So that's why we need the salt to be added into the water. But after we select the seed, don't forget we need to wash the seed with a clean water before we plant or before we do germination and put it in the nursery.
Thank you, Bufia. Your explanation. I
Thank
also
you.
want.
Okay. So there is another participant who raised hand, Mr. Mutakwa. Please feel free to deliver your question.
Okay, thank you. I hope I'm audible. I hope everyone can get me clearly. I've got two questions. One that regards the inner party, where you integrate rice and fish. And the other one that is just going to talk about the rice itself. I think I heard in the presentation when the presenter mentioned that before planting, it is always important to ensure that the land is leveled. Now, I wanted to find out if not leveling it has got any detrimental effects or it actually affects the production at the end. That is one. And then the second one, I heard the presenter, Mr. Yeyep, talking about tilapia fish not being good for rice and fish cultivation side by side. So I wanted to find out why and what species he would actually recommend for us to be using in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yeyep. So two questions from Mr. Mutakwa. The first question is about what kind of fish species that you are using for rice fish culture. And yeah, I think you have heard the second question. Please feel free to respond, Mr. Yeyep.
Okay, thank you for good question, Mr. Mutakwa. But for helping my answer, I will explain first to Miss Pia in bahasa, and then Bu Pia will explain you. I'm so sorry. Bu Pia, jadi tadi pertanyaan apa? Maksudnya mengerti ya, predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So why goldfish is preferable than tilapia? Because in there tilapia is a kind of predator, and as long as I know, tilapia is also omnivore.
Yeah, omnivore.
Also eat the plants.
Yeah. Merusak padi juga.
Yes, and if you don't have a monosex tilapia, they will not grow well. Yeah. So to raise the tilapia, you need the monosex. I mean, all the female or male. If you mix it together, they will not grow as big as you want. And once again, it's also omnivore.
Omnivore.
Yeah, and they can also eat the plants. So according to Mr. Yeyep, goldfish is more preferable for the fish rice culture.
Okay, there is actually another question, Mr. Yeyep and Dr. Tia, from Mr. Mutakwa as well. How does the rice fish culture impact the production of rice, whether there is a disadvantage or maybe there is a benefit? But I think you already mentioned the benefit, but is there any risk that is imposed on the rice plantation?
Okay. I will explain in bahasa first to Bu Fia, and then and explain in English. Jadi kekurangannya itu produksi padi tidak bisa tinggi karena itu tidak dihambat pupuk, dihambat pestisida. Okay. Ya, itu kekurangannya. Kekurangannya cuma di situ. Terus kekurangannya kalau tidak ada air ya susah. Yeah. Jadi itu hanya yang ada air saja.
Yeah, because using the fish culture means you need to reduce the implementations of fertilizer, because too much fertilizer or pesticide is going to be hindered or affect the fish itself. So in here you also need continuously watering rice also.
Yeah.
And because of we need to limit the fertilizer, it will also reduce the growth of the plant itself.
Yeah.
I think that was the drawbacks of using the fish culture in the rice. And rice fish culture is difficult to do in the area where the water is become a limitation. So you need continuously or good irrigations in this system.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yeyep and Dr. Afia. I would like to, maybe there are also several participants already raised hand, but I think I want to invite, I want to read the comment from Dr. Gandika first. He is asking, I want to know when the population of the fish increased with this system. It's possible with Oh, it's already, I think it's already responded, sorry. So maybe I want to invite Mr. Eric to address your question, please, Mr. Eric.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. My name is Weekend Kumana from Burundi. And I have only two questions. My first question is about transplanting young seedlings in 7 and 14 days. My question is, which techniques do you use to remove the plants from the ground? Because the plants are very young and fragile. I think it's not easy to remove the plants from the ground when the plants are still young and fragile. The second question is about rice fishing culture. I still not understanding the techniques of the rice fish culture and how it helps to get a better production. Those are my two questions.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for good question. As usual, I will explain first to Bu Fia in bahasa. Bu Fia ini tadi tanyanya kalau tidak salah, kenapa bibit muda? Karena susah di ini ya. Kenapa akhirnya muda? Ya, justru yang muda itu lebih baik untuk adaptasi. Nah, kalau untuk susah, memang susah. Tapi kan tadi sudah ada khas itu Bu, bibit itu skam itu. Nah ini untuk mempermudah mencabut ini supaya nggak patah, itu salah satunya. Nah kedua untuk yang rice fish culture itu kenapa produksinya lebih bagus dan begitu? Itu karena kita mendapat dua keuntungan, di panen padi dan panen ikan. Gitu aja lebihnya. Padahal tadi sudah ditanyakan, cuma dia belum paham.
That's because of the economic consideration.
Yeah. Okay.
So about the young seeds, Pak Yeyep said that why we use the young seed, because it's more adaptable. So they can manage when they remove or transplant from the nursery into the field. And that's why in the nursery, we need to make sure that the nursery is muddy. And from the PowerPoints of Pak Yeyep, you can see that they also adding like husk, rice husk. It's to make it easier when you remove the young seed. So that's why that one of the technique how we can remove the young seed from the nursery and transplant. And that was the answer for the first questions. And the second one, why they use the rice fish culture. Actually, there is a benefit and also the drawbacks of this technique. But the approachment is more like economically acceptable in this case. I mean, there is the considerations about the profit from the farmer. If they have loss in the rice, they still have the fish to substitute the profit from the farmers. So it's more like economically considerations.
Thank you very much. And I would like to know very much about these techniques. I still don't understanding the techniques of rice fish culture, how they mix the seedlings and fish. I still don't understand where the techniques. So I would like to ask if you can improve the explanations about these techniques.
Okay, thank you. I understand what your question. Jadi begini Bu Fia, jadi tekniknya itu, jadi kan tadi dibuat kanal dulu Bu, kanal dengan kedalaman 15 cm, tapi itu tidak semua kanal, itu hanya pinggiran saja. Itu terutama untuk yang jajar legowo itu, jadi kanal jajar legowo aja. Itu setelah tanam padi, 1 bulan baru ditanam ikan. Nah, dari sebulan sebelum panen, ikan dipanen duluan karena harus dikeringkan. Itu teknisnya. Tapi nanti ikan panennya itu nggak akan besar. Paling dalam 1 kilo itu yang tadinya ukuran kecil itu 3 sampai 4 lah 1 kilo. Ya, karena umur panen ikan itu hanya 1 bulan. Ya. Okay.
So this is this rice fish culture. It means that you can add the fish in the rice plantations when the age of the rice is about 1 month. So before you can make a canal inside the field. This is good, especially for the jajar legowo technique system. And after 1 month, you can add the fish there and raise the fish. But you can only have about 1 month to raise the fish because before you harvest the rice, you need to dry the field. So it won't be really big when you harvest the fish. At least for 1 kg, you have 3 to 4 fish. That's how they use the fish culture too. So it's just like you raise the fish only in a short time during the continuous irrigations inside the rice field.
Menambahkan Bu Fia, jadi juga ada keuntungan. Jadi menanam padi bersama ikan itu, jadi si ikan itu katanya suka goyang-goyang akarnya, dia itu merangsang akar. Jadi pertumbuhan padi bisa bagus. Aduh, itu bahasa Inggrisnya susah banget.
So the movement of the fish inside the rice field is going to shake the roots and improve the growth of the plants.
Okay, thank you very much. I got you. Thank you.
Stimulate the rice growth, yeah.
Thank you very much. Very interesting discussion about rice fish culture. There is another question from Mrs. Margaret. Mrs. Margaret, please feel free to unmute your microphone.
From Zambia. Thank you so much, sir, for the nice presentation. I have a question on irrigation management. You said rice field should be irrigated between 3 to 5 centimeters. That is in 10 days after transplanting. Then after that, you need to drain the water from this rice field. Now, for how many days should you start irrigation again? And why such a duration?
Irrigation.
Air berselang ya Bu ya. Jadi intinya Bu Fia, itu sebetulnya tidak ada aturan seperti itu, tapi itu kan hasil penelitian. Yang penting itu kan basah kering begitu. Kenapa kering? Kering itu kan untuk merangsang akar dari oksigen, ya, jadi berkembang bagus. Makanya kenapa sistem seperti itu weedingnya bisa sampai 3 kali. Karena kan kalau kering itu cepat, ya, beda dengan digenang. Ya itu. Nah, baru nanti 10 hari sebelum panen baru tuh kering total. Nah, tapi kan itu hanya berlaku untuk daerah irigasi. Sekali lagi nanti sampaikan seperti itu. Ya,
okay, so for this intermittent technique, so they usually put the water and dry is every 3 to 4 days. So every 3 days they will put the water and then let it dry until 3 to 4 days. And why this is, we do this, the first one is to save the water. And after that, it will increase the aerations in the root zone of the rice.
Terutama untuk membuat anakan.
Yes, so it will increase the tillering. Yeah, and why we need to do about 3 times weeding, because this intermittent will affect the weeds to grow faster than if we use the continuous irrigations. So that's why, and 10 to 15 days before we harvest the rice, this intermittent irrigation should be stopped to dry the field.
Ya. Jadi intinya bahwa padi itu bukan tanaman air gitu aja. Jadi kan sebetulnya membutuhkan udara kering. Ya, tapi di saat seperti apa?
Yeah, so rice is not a water plant, so it still need an air into in the root zone to stimulate the growth. That's why in the certain area which have limitations of water, this system was applied.
Thank you, Mr. Yeyep and Dr. Pia. To Mrs. Margaret, I believe that the response from the lecturers are suffice. So moving on to the next question from one of the participants to Mr. or Mrs. Ponsolata, please feel free to unmute your microphone.
Thank you for the good presentation. I'm Consolata Jacobo from Tanzania. In the integrated pest management, you have said there are things to consider, like if varieties, rotation, crop pattern, but I did not understand on the issue of balancing fertilizer.
Oke, jadi yang dimaksud dengan pemupukan berimbang, balancing fertilizer, artinya kebutuhan pupuk itu tidak boleh lebih, tidak boleh kurang. Artinya harus cukup sesuai dengan kebutuhan tanaman. Cuman yang jadi permasalahan bagaimana cara mengukur kebutuhan tanaman, pupuknya, mengukur pupuk. Nah itu kan udah ada alat, beberapa alat seperti di Indonesia itu ada uji perangkat tanah sawah, kan begitu ya, salah satunya. Ya Bu ya. Nah, jadi seperti itu. Karena kalau dampak dari kelebihan pupuk kan tanaman bisa terserang sama penyakit, bisa mudah rebah. Tanaman kalau kekurangan pupuk, tanaman kerdil kan begitu. Ya, dan juga kalau kelebihan ya boros lah Bu ya udah. Oke, terima kasih.
Okay, so it's about the balanced fertilizer. So we have to make sure that the rice have a sufficient fertilizer need. So how we can make sure that we can apply this balanced fertilizer method? The first one, in Indonesia, we have a paddy soil test kit. Maybe if I'm say tomorrow there will be special stations to talk about fertilizer and intermittent irrigations. And you can elaborate your question in there. But the thing is that we have to make sure that we don't put an excess fertilizer or like less fertilizer in the plantations, because when we put an excess fertilizer, the plant will not grow well. It might be looks green, but it's going to be weak. and it's easier to attack by pests and disease. But when we use the less fertilizer, of course, the plant will not grow optimally. So that's why we need to apply this balanced fertilizer. And of course, we need to counting the economical reason as well, because if we use too much fertilizer, it means you need more cost to produce the rice.
Nah, makanya salah satunya tadi ada alat ukur tentang leaf color chart itu.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why one of to apply the balanced fertilizer, one of the tools that we use is we can use the leaf color chart as well, beside the paddy soil test kit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yeyep and Dr. Fia. I'm sure it has been a very lively discussion, and actually there are still 3 participants asking questions, but unfortunately due to the limit of time, maybe I will just allocate for 1 person. For other participants, you can address it on the chat section. Maybe I want to invite Mr. Protais to deliver the last question, please.
Thank you. The presentation was very, very interesting. That's why you were getting more and more questions. So don't worry. I'd like to know about the rice fish culture, how to move the fish from the rice plantation. I mean, the fish harvest techniques before the rice harvest. Thank you.
Okay, so how to harvest the fish? So when we want to harvest the fish, we can make a canal and make holes in at the edge of the plantations. We make a hole, and
1 atau 2 ini.
Yeah, 1 or 2 holes to harvest the fish. I'm going to dry the water, so the fish will going to enter into the hole, and we can take it using a net. So we can just take it out and harvest the fish. So that's how the technique we harvest the fish in the rice field.
Okay. Anyway, once again, I want to, time is running out, yeah. Once again, I want to thank you to Mr. Yeyep and Dr. Fia for the explanation and the presentation about the rice integrated crop management in Indonesia. It appears we gain very high interest regarding the rice fish culture. Hopefully it can become one of the curriculum for the 2023 on-site training. So yeah, so anyway, I wish you well. So and see you, Mr. Yeyep and Dr. Fia, for the following session. Okay, moving on to the next agenda, I want to invite Mrs. Zaqiah from ICRR. Are you already joining the room?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
ready.
Yeah, you're ready. Okay, so participants, Mrs. Zaqiah will deliver a presentation about field preparation. Mrs. Zaqiah, whenever you are ready, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Okay, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello, everybody. Are you ready? Hello, please on your camera and give me your nice smile. Okay. Okay. Albert Einstein said, look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. We abuse land because we regard it as a community belonging to us. When we see land as a community to which we belong, we may begin to use it with love and respect. So, this is in line with our discussion of field preparation for rice cultivation. Because rice cultivation is the first step to success in rice cultivation. And Frank Lyon Wright said, study nature, love nature, stay close to nature. It will never fail you. Okay, stay tuned with me, Zaqiah Mamba'ul Hikmah from Indonesian Center of Rice Research, Indonesian Agency for Agriculture Standard Research Instrument, Ministry of Agriculture. For 1 hour, we will talk with you all things about field preparation. Okay, hello, are you ready? Please give me your response. Hello, are you hearing me? Okay, thank you. Oke, Mas Ipul, slide-nya. Okay. The first, Mas Ipul, for field preparation. Okay, just a moment. We will share the our presentation. Okay. Yes. Field preparation of paddy. Next. Okay. This is a step of the production from the seed quality and then a crop calendar when we want to planting, plant preparation, planting, water management until harvesting. So for this session, we will discuss about land preparation. Next. Why land preparation is important? Land preparation is important to ensure the paddy field is ready for planting. To ensure the paddy field is ready for planting. That's why that's important for the land preparation. And in the land preparation, we have two topics. One is the soil preparation and then soil quality maintenance. Next. In the soil preparation, The aims of soil tillage. Soil preparation, this same we know or we call tillage. The aims of soil tillage is change the physical properties of soil so that the hard soil become flat and muddy. Soil tillage can control weeds, then recycles plant nutrients and provide a soft soil mass for transplanting. And then soil tillage, a suitable soil surface for direct seeding. Next, this is a soil preparation. We have a soil preparation, this for activity. That's a plowing, harrowing, paddling, and leveling the fields. And this picture, you can know, this is plowing in the limited irrigation. And the others, plowing with much of water or standing of fresh water. Then, next, plowing. Plowing is a primary tillage, which is performed to cut, dig up, mix and invert the soil partially or completely. And the plowing is purposing to increase the water holding capacity of the soil. Plowing is improve soil aeration, and this is the point, obtain a deep bed of good texture. Next, after plowing, we can do harrowing and paddling. Harrowing, this activity break the soil clods into smaller mass for smoothing. Harrowing do incorporate a plant residue, cut the weeds, and mix the material with the soil. And the point of harrowing is make the field surface uniform, like this, the middle picture, field surface uniform. And the paddling. Paddling is mix the soil with water, so the soil become smooth and muddy. Paddling can reduce water loss in lowland paddy fields and then kill the weed by decomposition. Why paddling kill the weed by decomposition? Because in the paddling, so need a standing fresh water. Next. And this is the leveling the field. Leveling the field is expecting to bring permanent improvement in the value of the land. So the aims of field leveling is efficient weed and water management practices. The aims of field leveling improve better crop stand and establish. And then if you can do a leveling the fields, you can efficient application of irrigation. Next. This is the illustration of leveling the field. If you can do leveling well, so the standing crop like in the right picture, the standing crop is what's meaning acak-acakan and random. And if you can good leveling field, this is establish a crop. And do establish crop, so you can application water management well. Okay, next. And field preparation, we according to agroecosystem, it's mean about based on source of water. We divide three, and the first is wetland preparation, and the second is a combination dry and wetland preparation, and the third is dry land preparation. From this picture, you can we will show you about a wetland preparation. It wetland preparation in the top picture need standing fresh water. But in dryland preparation, because of limited water, or you can access the irrigation, so you can do a dryland preparation at the bottom. And if you have a limited source of water, you can combine dry and wetland preparation. Okay, next. This is a wetland preparation. Wetland preparation is a common practice in lowland paddy fields. In this method, the soil is still under flooded condition. Wetland, flooded condition. It helps with control growth and facilitates nutrients in the soil. And wetland preparation requirement, the field has irrigation easily, the tip of soil is loamy to clay, and bands surrounding the fields enable flooding. And in wetland preparation, we call this is a perfect tillage. And this is the step of wetland preparation. First, irrigate the field 2 or 5 days before plowing. Then you can plow the field. Then repair the constructing bands. And then you can, before flooding the fields, you can apply organic matter like compost, manure, or you can use a biochar. After you apply the material of organic, then flooding the fields, keep the surface of the fields cover water for 2 until 5 days. So after 5 days, you can do a secondary tillage, harrowing and paddling. So the end is leveling. After leveling, the soil is ready for a planting. And this is a manual planting, and we use a jajar legowo. If you have a machine for planting, you can do a planting by machine. Then next, this is a combination dry and wetland preparation. In the plowing, we not need standing fresh water. So in plowing, you can do in dry condition. And this is the middle picture is the result of the soil after plow in the dry condition. You can irrigate your field, then repair the bands, then you can use you can apply organic matter. After that, flooding the fields, and after flooding, so we can do a secondary tillage in wetland and wet condition. Then if the plant if the soil is ready, you can planting with machine or a manual. Next. So the advantage to dry and wetland preparation. In the first, tillage in dry condition using machines such as a well tractor provide deeper tillage results because we use a machine. And the land preparation time is shorter. Why? Because in the primary tillage, we not use in dry conditions, so this is a short the time. This acceleration the cultivation process and increasing the annual planting index. And the other advantage is save the amount of water used for tillage when compared to complete tillage. Okay, next. So if your land is in upland paddy fields, so you can use dry land preparation. In dry land preparation, we not need much water, because in the primary tillage, you can do a hand tractor or four-wheel tractor in a dry condition. This is the result of the soil. And then in dry land preparation, you can direct seeding. Direct seeding, you can, what's meaning? You can use a hand tractor, and a hand tractor, in the back of hand tractor, we can apply, direct seeding. And this is the result of the direct seeding. This preparation in dry preparation is common practice in the upland paddy fields. This preparation can also do in lowland where wetland preparation is not an option. And of course, in dry land preparation, we conduct without standing fresh water. And this preparation can be available if you don't have access to irrigation, then water supply is limited, then labor is limited, which can control, and then you just have a thin time for food preparation. So you can use this dry land preparation. So the second topic is soil quality maintenance. Why is it important to maintain soil quality? Because the quality, if the quality of the soil decrease, the fertility and the soil health also decrease. So crop production, of course, decrease. So it is important to maintain soil quality. Next. So what must we do to maintain the soil quality? The first, apply organic matter to the soil. And the second is wise usage of inorganic material, especially chemical fertilizer, pesticide, herbicides. You must wise use of inorganic material. And why is it necessary to add organic matter to the soil? Because the organic matter to the soil can improving soil structure, improving aeration, and the organic matter can improve the plant nutrient activity, increasing soil porosity, and increasing soil biological activity. This is necessary why we must add an organic matter to the soil. Especially if you plant in the upland area. So organic matter is very, very important because can improving aeration. And organic material like biochar, this is can increasing pH of the soil. Then this is kind of organic material. Manure you can get from cow or goat. That's a decomposer. That's a decomposed or organic material like MDEC, AgroDEC, and etc. That's a decomposer. That's increase decompose on organic material. And you can use a biochar or biological agent and more. This is a local microorganism. This local microorganism. This is you can membuat apa? You can make alone. Okay. Next. So this is step to create compost. In the top picture, this is a compost in the in situ or near the land. But in the other picture, this is a make compost in ex situ. So you must put the material in other place and then make a compost. So this is the step. Make sure that the area is level. And well drained and inset. Then if the material or the crop residue is more, so you can chop compost material into a small pieces. Then make compost in layer consistent of crop residue. If possible, you can combine with waste bin or manure. And then sprinkle the compost heap with a decomposing material. Then keep the compost filled moist and mix and turn the heaps every week. So compost should be ready within 4 until 8 weeks if the humidity and temperature conditions are good. I show you this picture. This is a back compost. That's a residue crop. Then inoculant or decomposer. Then you can trap the straw of paddy. You can sprinkle water and the decomposer, and you must close. And then after once mix and turn the heaps every week. Okay. Next. Thank you. Heard well and decent laugh. And I hope my sharing is useful for you all. Thank you. But before I finish my presentation, I will show you the video about land preparation.
Nggak ada suaranya.
Excuse me, Ibu Zaqiah, maybe before you are share screen your video, you can tick mark the share audio button. Usually it's on the left side of the pop-up window when you try to share screen so that we can hear the audio. Yeah, so there is a share sound share sound checkbox that you need to check before you share a video.
Okay, we have checked it at this moment. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
The stages of rice production include the selection of planting time, land preparation, planning, plant maintenance, which includes management, fertilization, water, weeds, pests and diseases, until harvest and post-harvest treatment. In this video, the focus of the discussion is soil preparation. Soil preparation is an important factor for the success of rice production. Why? Field preparation is important to ensure the paddy field is ready for planting. The most important field preparation
This is
soil preparation,
in dry condition,
and
in
soil
plow.
quality maintenance. The Ministry of Agriculture through Indonesian Center for Rice Research has developed innovation
in
in
dry
best practice
condition
of soil
plow,
preparation
so this is
according to
no
the availability
standing fresh
of
water.
water
This is
and the field
different in the
location.
wet land
The
preparation,
effort
need
to
fresh
maintain the
water.
health and fertility of the soil by providing organic matter
And this
or
is
decomposing
use
materials in the
a
field is just
biodecomposer.
as important. Soil preparation involves plowing, harrowing, and paddling, then leveling the field. Paddling is not necessarily in upland paddy fields because of the limiting resource of water. Wetland preparation is a common practice in lowland paddy fields. In this method, the soil is still under flooded condition. It helps with controlled growth and facilitates
After
nutrient
irrigate the
absorption
water,
from
after
soil.
irrigate the fields, you
The
can
requirement
repair
of
the
irrigated
bun.
wetland preparation are the type of soil must be loamy to clay, and bund surrounding the field is designed to enable flooding. All the steps of field preparation, plowing, harrowing, paddling, leveling water, called perfect field preparation.
This is different by using hand tractor and the bulldozer for the leveling.
Dry wet preparation method was a combination of dry plowing followed by wet
This is
harrowing
dry
and leveling of the
land
field.
preparation, so
It has
we
several
not need
advantages.
standing water.
They are A. Tillage in dry condition using machines, such as wheel tractor provides deeper tillage result. B. The land preparation time is shorter, thus accelerating the cultivation process and increasing the annual planting index. C. Saving the amount of water used for tillage when compared to complete tillage. Dry preparation is a common practice in the upland paddy fields. This preparation can be also conducted in lowlands where wet preparation is not an option. In this method, the field preparation is processed without standing fresh water. Dry preparation can be chosen as alternative if the access to irrigation, labor, and preparation time is limited. The equipment and machines
And this
are
is
available for
dry
tillage
land.
and weeds can
So
be
in the
controlled.
hand
In this
tractor, this
condition,
name
farmers can
Atabela,
choose
and
Larigo
we use
technology.
Larigo
This
technology.
technology is dry
So
preparation of
the
land that
seed
include
can direct
biodecomposer.
seeding.
Without soil maintenance, continuous tillage will decrease soil quality. The decrease in soil quality is marked by the decrease of fertility level and soil health with low crop productivity as the result. Why is it necessary to add organic matter to the soil? Organic matter is important for the soil because it is proven to be able to improve the physical, chemical, and biological properties of the soil. Organic matter is useful for improving soil structure, soil porosity, water retention, soil biological activity, rainwater infiltration, aeration, irrigation, plant nutrition source, and preventing erosion. In dryland, organic matter has major role in increasing water retention, pH, and soil porosity. Several organic materials that generally used to enhance soil quality are biochar, manure, biodecomposers, compost, biological agent, and local microorganisms. Biodecomposers accelerate the decomposition process of biomass such as straw residue and weeds. Long-term use of biological agent can increase soil fertility and drought resistance. It can repair soil damage caused by the overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. For more details, the following will briefly describe how to make compost from harvested straw.
Ini adalah jerami hasil dari pertanaman
this is
musim sebelumnya.
Residue of the
Dalam
crop.
1 hektar akan menghasilkan
In 1
7 sampai
hectare,
dengan 8 ton
can
jerami.
7
Nah,
until
dari 7 sampai 8 ton jerami ini akan
jerami or
menghasilkan
straw.
kurang lebih 3,5 sampai dengan 4
So
ton
after from the
kompos
egg
hak jerami.
or egg of the residue, if become compost, just decrease 50%. So this is make to compost, and this is trap water and biodecomposer. Then we close the we cover the residue, and then one week we open and mix and turn the heaps every week. And this is the compost, the final compost. There. This is we will minimize the size. After this we put in the mini karung, put in the bag, and this is ready for use in the field. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Zaqiah, for the interesting presentation. Definitely, it gives us information for cropping practices. So as Mrs. Zaqiah's lecture concludes, I would like to invite participants to ask questions by raising hand, or maybe you can drop your questions or feedbacks on the chat section. Or maybe Mrs. Zaqiah, while we are waiting for a question from the participants, I'm actually interested to know whether what is the time gap, the appropriate time gap after harvesting for the land to be used to grow rice again, whether it has any relation to the climate or the type of land.
Excuse me, Miss Niken, can you repeat again because it's unstable connection?
Okay, sure, my pleasure. Yeah, my question is whether there is appropriate time gap after rice harvesting for the land to be used to grow rice or paddy again, and is it have any relation with a climate or maybe with the type of soil?
This is depend on the agro ecosystem. And in Indonesia, we usually in the 3 months for that. But right now, this program in Indonesia, IP 400. So in the 1 years, we can plant four times. So this is because of that, it's we just have a limiting time to land preparation. So for the reach AP 400, we just need 7 until 10 field preparation. So this is because of that, before planting, before planting the seedling in another land. So we will all perfect land preparation just need 7 until 10 days.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Zaqiah. Very interesting. There is already another question from the participant from the chat box from Mr. Motakwa. His question is, what is more critical between soil quality maintenance or water quality management in rice cultivation in relation to production?
Okay, this more critical between soil quality maintenance or water quality management. I think it's related because in the soil quality maintenance, so we can waste using a chemical fertilizer. And the water quality management, so we can what's meaning? We can manage the water for the fields, and if we can manage the water, so we not need much water for the field preparation. And the water quality management, it's I think in the lowland is water quality management right now is what's meaning? Terpengaruh apa sih? Influenced by herbicide, pesticides, like that. So to water quality management, we must wise using the pesticide and herbicide. Kalau dipilih salah satu yang paling penting. And you have to choose. And if we choose, so that's the quality of the soil maintenance, because this is the first for the plant.
Thank you, Mrs. Zaqiah. So so they are related to one another. Okay, moving on to the next question from Mr. Wainaina. His question is, what is the ratio for the organic versus the inorganic fertilizer in Indonesia, which is used more?
In Indonesia, this is balance of use organic and inorganic fertilizer, because organic fertilizer like manure, we use it, we apply it in the soil, and for nutrients of the plant, we use in organic fertilizer. So this is related the first presentation. So we must balance fertilizer. So what the soil have nutrients, and we put again nutrients is the. So this is a balance. If for the organic materials, we can maintain the quality of the soil, and inorganic material this is what the plant need for the nutrients. And the example for organic, we use manure from cow, we use biochar. And we use that's a compost for the straw of paddy. In organic, we use NPK, urea, like that.
Thank you, Mrs. Zaqiah. I'm curious actually which one is cheaper between organic and inorganic fertilizer. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see. Well, you use manure from cow, but whether somehow somehow you need particular cost to process or maybe to collect the manure.
If we use organic, we must know of the much material in several the land. So we use it in organic. And if we don't have, we use inorganic. And where is the cheaper? I think the organic, because this is around the land, we can use it to make a fertilizer. I think it's organic fertilizer. Yes, like the after harvest, you can use residue of the crop. Then you make a compost. It's because in Indonesia is very much of coal, so we use the waste of the coal. We make organic from the coal. This is the cheaper because this is more in the several of the land.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mrs. Zaqiah. Next question from Mr. Ciputa. As a control measure for certain diseases and pests, it is advised to practice crop rotation. What crop do you recommend for rotate with the rice using the dry tillage system? And is the water quality a bearing factor during the growth of the rice regarding the pH of the water, suspended particles in the water?
Okay, for the dry tillage system, recommend rotate of rice using the as a control bearing factor, the growth of the rice regard the pH regarding pH of water, suspend partition in the water. Okay, the crop for recommend we usually use kedelai, what's meaning kedelai? Legume plant like soybeans, then nuts like that. Because the nuts or soybeans can improve the nitrogen.
Thank you, Mrs. Zaqiah. Well, there is another question. It's about, again, about NPK, but I noticed actually there is a session tomorrow about fertilizing and irrigation, but do you want to respond it right now or you move it?
Okay, Ms. Nikan, I think this one's question again. What is the composition of NPK in Indonesia? Here in Zambia, it's 10, 20, and 10 per 50 kg. Oh, NPK in Indonesia is a variative. It's 15, 15, and 15, and then 10, 20, and 10. This is the same from the Zambia, but the usually is 15, 15, and 15.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Mrs. Zaqiah, can you explain more why in some area it can be, the composition can be 15, 15, and 15, while the other area it can be 10, 20, and 10. What is the main cause or the factor that can make such differences?
Okay, where NPK is a different composition. That's in Indonesia. This is usually NPK 15, 15, and 15. This is usual in here, and sometimes in the other area use NPK 10, 20, and 10. This is apa sih? Tergantung. This is a depend on order or depend the producer. This is depend on the producer and depend on the farmer to choose which is the NPK? And which one is better? This NPK 2020 this the same of composition. And we usually add urea again to add the N compound. Like that, Ms. Niken.
Thank you, Mrs. Zaqiah. For other participants, do you have further questions or feedbacks addressed to Mrs. Zaqiah? Please, you can raise hand or you can drop your comment on the chat section before we conclude this session. Actually, we still have 10 minutes according to the agenda. Okay, Mrs. Zaqiah, it appears there is no further questions or feedbacks from the participants. Do you have final remarks or maybe final comments addressed to the participants? Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, for field preparation, you must, I think you must do this depend on your condition or your agro-ecosystem. You can choose why and when we can choose a wetland preparation, or we must combine dry and wetland preparation. And the second is we love nature, so input material organic before you are planting. I think like that. Thank you, Ms. Niken.
Thank you, Mrs. Zaqiah, for imparting your knowledge and experience. And of course, at this opportunity, I want to congratulate the government of Indonesia for achieving 3-year self-sufficiency of rice production, and wishing you many success in your future endeavors. Okay, I want to inform the participant that we still have few days ahead until November 24. So let us call today's session a close. You can always contact all of the experts. You already have the OneDrive folder for the experts CV curriculum vitae. There is their email address or maybe their WhatsApp phone number. Feel free to discuss with them. So our session concludes today. We will meet again tomorrow with different instructors on the same Zoom meeting link, meeting ID, and passcode. Wishing you a good day. Take care and see you tomorrow.